I am finally ready to say it doesn't matter. The Hawks traded a chance for Luka Doncic to get Trae Young and Cam Reddish. The fact is, Trae's going to win a championship before Luka. He is. The Hawks are just a better team. Atlanta's front office, miles better than the one in Dallas. In fact, the Mavericks front office is a mess, but Trae's team has built around him quickly. This season, I could already see Atlanta being a top 3 seed in the East. Now, I know people will call that an overreaction, but the real idiots are the ones saying the Hawks can win a title this year. Actually, they can. They just need one more move to pull it off. And I will explain exactly what the Hawks need to do, but first of all, guys, I love this team. I am ready to admit it. Of course, you know I have banged on Trae for years, but none of his defensive issues actually matter if he is surrounded by badass players on D, which he is. And if this team is healthy, the Hawks have a monster defensive lineup. Imagine this starting 5. Trae Young, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, and Clint Capella. That is the Hawks' 2 best wing defenders and 2 best front court defenders, plus an all-star leading the offense. That group could legitimately compete with anyone in the league. Beyond that, they've got depth. Kevin Huerter, DeLon Wright, Danilo Gallinari, Bogdan Bogdanovic. This Hawks GM is a genius. Now, I've been so impressed with DeAndre Hunter on defense. Never mind that this guy can guard 1 through 4, but he locked down Luka in their first game. When Dre was the primary defender on the Mavs, they went 1-13. On Luka, he went 1 for 9. And the really cool thing is this is what their front office guy Travis Schlenk planned for all along. He knew Trae was special on offense, but not big enough to really defend at an NBA level. So he took a play from the Sixers, who surrounded Allen Iverson with defensive talent, and went to the finals. He took DeAndre Hunter really early, plus Cam Reddish, traded for Clint Capella, all that. It took a while for Cam and DeAndre to develop, but now they look amazing. And the Clint Capella trade was awesome because he looks like one of the best paint defenders in the East. And I love seeing a long-term plan like this come together because usually NBA front offices screw this up. I mean, just look at what the Pelicans are doing with Zion. The Ringer just named the Hawks the best young core in the league. Better than the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, the Grizzlies. But this will make you go,
Things that make you go,
We know defense is key to winning a chip. The defensive rank of champions looks like this. All top 10 defenses since 2000, except for the Warriors and the Lakers, who both became #1 in the playoffs. Well, the Hawks were 18th in defense last year, but now I think they have a championship level defense. The problem is on offense. There have been just 14 teams to win with 1 current All-Star. But there have been 0 teams who have won with 1 guy who's been an All-Star his entire career. The problem for the Hawks? Trae Young is their only All-Star. And again, no team has ever won a chip in that position. The only way the Hawks can raise a banner is if we have another huge number of superstar injuries like last year, which I don't see happening because we had a full offseason. So I think the Hawks have a 0% chance at winning the title this season. I love their young core and what they've done on defense, but make no mistake, the front office still has a lot of work to do. If they want to win it all, they need to get Trae superstar offensive help. And you know what that means. We have to mention the 2 offensive stars on the trade block. First, the Hawks receive Ben Simmons. Sixers get CJ McCollum, Danilo Gallinari, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish, and the 2022 OKC first. The Trailblazers get Tobias Harris. Now, this solves everything for every team. Dame said he is not leaving the Blazers, so swap CJ for front court help in Tobias Harris. He is a good 2-way player. The Sixers solved their point guard issue while adding shooting and elite young assets. The Hawks get Ben Simmons, who I know is a headache, but he is also an elite talent who would get a fresh start. Now, I don't blame Hawks fans if they hate that deal. Ben Simmons is everyone's least favorite player right now. But if Atlanta could work Ben with Clint Capella somehow, they could unlock a championship offense. I don't know, maybe playing small at center with Simmons or John Collins could work. Who knows? And the other reason I'm even mentioning this is one rumor said that the Hawks offered Cam Reddish and Danilo Gallinari for Simmons. Atlanta clearly thinks this could work on some level. Of course, we do also have to mention the Hawks get Kyrie Irving and the Nets get Bogdan Bogdanovic, Lou Williams, and DeLon Wright. The Nets have way too many bigs, so in this trade, they get a couple of offensive guards and Lou, Will, and Bogey. The deal couldn't be done until later this year because Lou was re-signed using bird rights, but this is a cheap price for the Hawks to get Kyrie. Atlanta adds a Hall of Fame offensive talent for 3 role players. That's amazing. Obviously, it's because Kai's trade value is basically 0. And the problem with both deals is fit. Not just on the court, but in the locker room, obviously. Kyrie, for example, is a small point guard, just like Trey. It's pretty awkward. The good news, though, is I think the Hawks front office is ready to pounce when a star does become available who actually makes sense. Last offseason, we heard that Cam Reddish was on the trade market, despite Atlanta's awesome playoff run. That means the Hawks are not afraid to shake things up after having some success. And that is the attitude they need to win a title. Trae Young is obviously ready to be one of the 2 best players on the championship team. Even I can admit that. However, he does need elite help to get there. I don't care about having the best young core in the NBA. All that means is the Hawks have ammunition to trade if the right deal becomes available. It is crazy that I am saying this, but the Hawks are 1 move away from being a legitimate contender already. This is one of the best rebuilds we've seen in a long time. But they need to be careful not to become one of those almost teams. The team that almost gets there, but doesn't make it, and then the window closes. I mean, they don't want to be like the Boston Celtics, who had probably at one point the best young core in the NBA, right? But they were too afraid to make the big trade, that last piece that puts them over the top. And look, the only thing that matters is a championship. You may have a great present, but the future is not guaranteed. I do not care. And the Celtics were too scared to blow up a young core to get a superstar. They actually had a chance to trade for James Harden, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Nikola Vucevic, and Miles Turner, but they did nothing. I know Boston acquired Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, but that plan failed from day one. Bottom line, Danny Ainge was afraid to pull off huge moves, and now their chance might be gone. The Hawks do not want to become that. They have done an amazing job rebuilding, but the job is not finished. They cannot be afraid of that one last move. And speaking of superstar trades, obviously Russell Westbrook is on the Lakers, and obviously it's not going too great. But Chris Bosh actually has a pretty serious warning for Russ.